Hi friends, welcome you all back to your learning of Economic Survey, Volume 1. So chapter number 7, I think you learned really well, my dear friends, the regulatory forbearance chapter. Let's now enter chapter number 8, innovation. Okay, innovation uh, needs thrust, especially from the private sector. Something like that the chapter name goes, right? Okay. All right. So what survey is essentially trying to say is India aspires to be the third largest economy in terms of current GDP, in terms of US dollars. Okay. So uh, now, if it has to become third largest economy, it's very, very important that it has to, the innovation in India, the R&D spending in India has to go up, my dear friends. Innovation has to get a much needed facelift, because see, it again, survey actually starts like this. It says, first thing first, it says we have done well on innovation, which is clearly demonstrated by the fact that from a rank of 81 in the Global Innovation Index in 2015, we have we have improved to a rank of 48. We are now among the top 50 economies, with good levels of innovation, my dear friends, with great levels of innovation. Okay, but then if we will have to if we will have to reach our aspiration goal of becoming the third largest economy, my dear friends, it's very, very important that the much needed boost has to come, especially on this front, wherein our rank, which is at 48 now, has to, yeah, improve by many levels, so that economy is also uh, becoming the third largest in the world. Are you connecting to what I'm talking about, my dear friends? Perfect. Now, let us look at why. Where all do we have to concentrate if we will have to ramp up the innovation in the economy and take the economy to where it actually deserves? What needs to be done? Let us look into it as survey looks into, my dear friends. Number one, the India's spending on R&D, okay, which is around 0.65% of GDP, is very low compared to top 10 economies of the world, which spend close to 1.5 to 3% of GDP on innovation, my dear friends, on R&D. Got that? No, research and development. Are you connecting to what I'm talking about, my dear friends? Now, let us actually look into why India spends so low. Let us actually look into some facts. When we look into some facts and figures, we'll understand that whatever government is spending, which is 56%, of the total expenditure, my dear friends, around 56% is one of the highest uh, by any government in the world. 56% of GERD, gross expenditure on R&D, is in fact the highest share by government compared to any top 10 economy governments, my dear friends. Got that what I'm trying to tell you? 56%. Look at, I'm not talking in terms of the exact expenditure, my dear friends. I'm talking in terms of the expenditure as a percentage from the government, which is 56% on GERD, gross expenditure on R&D, okay, is among the highest. It's highest, my dear friends, as a percentage compared to top 10 economies of the world. Okay. Now, also 36% to R&D personnel, 23% to the researchers. Okay, 23% on the researchers. All I'm talking about as a percentage from government, my dear friends. Okay, is all really high compared to what governments in the top 10 economies actually do. Why is that then India is spending so low on R&D? So low as low as just 0.65%. Hmm? Even when the governments are spending so much, okay, it's because of the missing private sector investment. Now, did you fill the blank, my dear friends? Look at here. Even when the government's percentage, even when the government's percent of expenditure is so high, we are spending less compared to top 10 economies on R&D as a percentage of GDP, because there is clear case of missing private sector investment or expenditure on R&D, my dear friends. In fact, Indian private sectors, Indian private sectors GERD, gross expenditure on research and development, is as low as 37% compared to the average of top 10 economies, which is around 68%. Do you get that, my dear friends? Do you get that? Where is 68%? Where is 37%? And even if you look into the Indian business sector's expenditure on the R&D personnel or the researchers, which is around 30 and 34%, it is very low compared to the average of the top 10 economies, which comes around 53, 54, like that, my dear friends. Are you connecting to what I'm talking about? So, in rest of the world, especially the top 10 economies, when the business sector, the private sector, is giving the much needed thrust for innovation, in India it's the government which has been doing it. In India especially, where the access to equity finance, which is very critical for coming up with innovation, coming up with innovative products or building innovative technology. Look at here, understand this, my dear friends. Access to equity finance. See, whenever you are coming up with an innovative product, when you have to massively spend, there is a risk. It may work or it may not work, correct? So, generally, people avoid going for debt finance. Okay, when an innovative product has to come up, they go for equity finance. Equity. It's not debt, equity finance. Now, who better than India's business sector has so much access to equity finance, my dear friends? For the kind of equity finance that it has access to, it should have contributed really, really well to innovation, ecosystem innovation per se. But then we clearly see that blank from the, we clearly see that missing blank, that missing contribution from the private sector, my dear friends. Are you connecting to what I'm talking about, my dear friends? So this is what survey is actually trying to say. And if you look at the resident Indians filing of patent, okay, resident Indians filing of patent, it's so low, my dear friends. It's around 36. Okay, see, non-resident Indians who are in US, who are in UK, who are in other countries of Europe, they are doing extraordinarily well. So Indians who have gone and settled down there, they are filing patents after. So NRI Indian, patent filing is up always. But then the resident Indians filing of patents, which actually demonstrates the innovation that is happening within an economy, is as low as 36% compared to the average of 62%, my dear friends, in the top 10 economies of the world. Got that? No, I'm trying to tell you. See, China, if you take I'll tell you, my dear friends, even with a very good compound annual growth rate, if we start filing patents, to come to the level of China is going to be very, very difficult, my dear friends. Because you know what? Even when the number of patents that is filed increase by a good number, okay, the growth rate may be at around 10 or something, my dear friends, in India. China, the compound annual growth rate in filing patents, can I share the number with you? What's the growth rate at which people are filing patents? 21%. 21%. Are you connecting to what I'm talking about, my dear friends? friends. What I'm trying to tell you is not just the non-resident Indian individual, not just the resident Indian individual, the resident Indian firms, for the level of equity finance that they get, for the level of government support that they get in terms of, slashing tax rates and all that, so that they become innovative, they spend on R&D, should all be properly utilized by the Indian private sector. And the number of patents that the resident Indian firms file should also have to shoot up considerably, my dear friends. See, the kind of patents that we file should reflect, the fact that, hey, we are India, we are world's fifth largest economy, and as a fifth largest economy of the world, this is how we are innovating. But the kind of patents that we are filing and the economy, the size of economy that we are, they're not matching each other. There's no jigsaw. Got that what I'm trying to tell you? Are you connecting to what I'm talking about, my dear friends? Yes or no? Yeah? Superb. Now, having said this, all right, what else does the survey say? Yeah, so basically what survey is trying to say is, it's the India's private sector which will have to take initiative and spend more, be more, do more, so that India innovates. And when India innovates, it achieves its aspiration goal of becoming the third largest economy in the world. Okay. Having said that, survey also tells you, in terms of the Global Innovation Index, it just talks about two areas where we have to work more. One is the institutions, the performance of institutions, my dear friends. Two is the business sophistication. On both these areas, if we can improve in our rank, the overall rank in the GII is going to be considerably up. This chapter is full of facts, my dear friends. I've put slides. Okay, towards the end of this learning, you have some slides to learn some of the facts, as in what are all the parameters that goes into deciding the rank in Global Innovation Index, and how India is performing there, and how India is performing in its primary education, higher education, which all ultimately adds up to innovation in the country. Correct, my dear friends? Okay, so with this, where we conclude that it's the private sector which is actually beneficiary of the growth and should be the source of the growth. I mean, which should be the prime driver of the growth in the economy, that should start spending more so that India innovates. Okay, thank you so much, my dear friends. See you in my next chapter. See you in our interaction of the next chapter of Economic Survey. Thank you so much, my dear friends.